Bill Remy, the CEO of TBM Consulting Group, and welcome to the next in our series of video casts. And today we're going to be talking about technology and perhaps the fear of missing out or chasing technology for the sake of technology as opposed to finding real solutions that drive productivity and create customer intimacy. With me today is Brian Cromer, who's the director of our supply chain and analytics group. Welcome, Brian.
Morning, Bill. Glad to be
Morning.
here.
Yeah, good to have you, Brian. Hey, when we think about technology, there's lots of different aspects we want to explore, but I think the first thing is, what is it about organizations that either limits their success in implementation or causes resistance to change and adoption with technologies?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, first let's talk about just the resistance that people have in general of change. So, as we all see every day with what we do, people just are not comfortable with changing, with trying something different. When it comes to the fear, a lot of times it's because an implementation at the past has failed. So what they don't realize is what caused the failure of a good implementation. And it's all about the planning and the preparation to make sure that whatever the technology is set up correctly in a scope so that it's going to satisfy the requirements for everybody in the business.
Yeah, that's a great point. One of the things I think we also have seen is as they go into some of these technologies, especially information system or digital type technologies, is that oftentimes they don't fully prepare their data. What are the challenges that people should consider around data management and data preparation for this?
Oh, yeah, data preparation is the key, right? If you have bad data coming in, you get bad data coming out, it's going to steer companies to make poor decisions, and ultimately that's one of the downfalls for why any kind of technology fails. Companies and people in general believe that a technology is that silver bullet. We have this monster tool we go spend a lot of money to implement, and they're led to believe that just the system itself is going to solve the world's problems. And the reality is, it's the user and the data integrity that's the critical element to make sure that whatever the technology solution is works effectively and they get the benefit out of it.
Great point, Brian. I totally agree. Data is always a big challenge for people. So if we now switch and think about what kinds of benefits should people expect from technology and what does it make possible in the business? How should they think about technology helping the business?
Yeah, I think it's two critical points. One is the speed in which they can react and to be able to adjust what they're doing and to make themselves better to drive improvements, right? The other is I think it provides a competitive advantage against the competition. So if we have clients and you're a company that is trying to improve and trying to go after your competition, if you don't embrace the change and be able to understand what you need to do to make the business run better, more efficiently, and drive out the value to your shareholders, then you're missing out.
As we think about implementation strategies or more of a strategic approach, what would you recommend as kind of the broad steps for clients to successfully implement technology and see the benefits that they hope to see?
Sure. First, I would say take a slow approach to it. So let's crawl, let's walk, let's run. So we don't need to go for the home run right out of the gate. Let's go look at where are the gaps in the business, what are the requirements for each of the users within an organization that they're going to get the best benefit out of. Once you define your requirements, then you go back and ensure that you have the clean data, that your data integrity is good, right? So without the good data, you're going to have bad outcomes. And just as important as the data is the processes that go into controlling whatever the technology is. So I think it's important to have a really robust business process alongside with the utilization of technologies to really achieve the benefit.
Good points, Brian. When you think about prepping, how much emphasis should organizations put on upfront business process, you know, standardization and cleanup in order to really integrate the technology into how they want to leverage it for success?
Yeah, the best approach is what is the business solution that you're trying to attack, right? And then you define what are the gaps that's standing in the way of you achieving what it is that you're looking to achieve. That's going to point you to what data cleanup that you have to do. It could be replenishment parameters. It could be bill of materials. There's a multitude of things that may have to be reviewed, adjusted, and refined to make sure that they're good. You then look at the business process. How do we go through day to day? How does the data get input into whatever the system solution is? What are the processes that we do to maintain, ensure, and audit those data points that are going into the system? And then another key element with technologies, it helps to eliminate a lot of the manual work that people have to do. And we all know that manual inputs into any system can create problems with data integrity. So, getting the right technology aligned with the business requirements, the needs, and defining what the processes are that are going to govern it is really important when you go out to look at different technologies.
Excellent points, Brian. Yeah, I think sometimes we find that they don't place enough emphasis on the business process up front and really cleaning up their processes and data, and thus, you know, the system yields less than the outcomes they're looking for. Well, look, appreciate you joining us today, Brian. I think good insight, and thanks for joining.
Thanks for having.
You bet. Hey, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We've got two more videos coming up in the series, one on supply chain and supply chain risk, and the other on how to find value in ESG in your business. So again, thanks, and look forward to seeing you on the next two video casts.